Good afternoon, everyone. Randall, just wanted to let you know, committee members, you have Chris Rodriguez, Kim Bazile, Mike Billings, yourself, and Tamisha Saunier on. So you do currently have a quorum of 5 people.
That's reasonable for
Okay, let us get started then. Can everybody hear me okay?
Yes. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon. Thank you, everybody, for taking the time to be here today. We have first to approve the June 12th, 2020 Search Committee meeting summary, which is linked there in the agenda. Has everyone had time to review it? Do I have a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve the minute summary from the June 12th, 2020 Search Committee meeting.
Thank you, sir. I have a motion from Mike Billings to approve the June 12th, 2020 Search Committee meeting summary. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Tamisha Saunier, seconds. Do I have any abstentions to this motion? Any objections? Hearing none, the motion carries. Thank you. All right, well, basically, we needed to meet today because we need to do one very important thing. We need to decide, and if it's our decision to continue to contract with Llano, then we need to vote on the issue of selecting Llano again. Because as everyone is aware, we were instructed by the Administration for Community Living and Office on Intellectual and Developmental Disabilities that we needed to make adjustments to and here's the letter on the screen that we received from them. We need to make adjustments to our committee that were in line with the original vote the council took at our October 2019 meeting. So as per their instruction, I used my authority as chair, and we now have those of you present are the ones chosen at the October 2019 meeting. So now that we've made those adjustments, we need to re-vote on the matter of selecting Llano for our search committee firm. And just for your refresher, here's the Llano proposal that we originally accepted. I'll give everyone a moment to look over both the letter we received, our response, and the Llano proposal if you would like.
I just let you know, Randall, Mary has joined us.
Okay, thank you. Welcome, Mary.
Hey, Randall, if I may, just to let committee members know, in past conversations with Llano, they did mention, originally they gave us prices quoted based on if you're a member or not a member. And so when we were negotiating contract before all this kind of went down, they did tell us that we did not have to become a member to get the price. So we don't actually have to become a member of Lano to get that reduced price.
Very good. Very good information. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, does everybody feel comfortable with, have you had time to review? Does anybody have any questions? And again, this is the proposal that we initially sought and accepted from Lano, and they have indicated they are willing and able to resume work with us as soon as we give them authority today to move forward. So I'd like to entertain a motion to have Lano be asked to be our search firm and to have Brenton begin the process of being negotiating with them a contract for the search process.
Okay, I'll make a motion to move forward with the Lano group to do the search for our new executive director and work with Brenton on getting updated timeline and schedule and stuff.
Okay, thank you very much. Do I have a second to Mary's motion in the selection of Lano for our search firm?
I will second.
Thank you. Mike Billings seconds. Do I have any discussion? Do I have any abstentions?
Hey, Randall, you have a hand raised from Coranda? Oh,
Yes.
the hand raise just went down. I'm not sure.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, it's back up. Okay, hold on. All right, you should be able to unmute Coranda.
Great afternoon, Mr. Chairman and Executive Council. Just out of curiosity, with this vetting and this money that we're going to use in regards to the ED search, exactly how much information would this company actually submit to our council? That's number one. Number two, exactly what is going to be the actual full job description? Where would it be posted, etc.? That's number three. That's number two. Number three, where would this funding come from? As far as in, would this be reflected in a proposal? And will this company be a company? Would this company actually have to submit a proposal in order to actually be the company that we choose? And will we make sure that this is a company that actually trying to get us an executive director that reflects diversity and inclusion, one that is very well versed in the DD Act and all that our DD Council is supposed to embody?
Thank you. We've already began working with Lano before the issue arose that we needed to revote. So Kay Irby is our point person with Lano that will be working directly with us, with Brenton and I, and with ultimately with this committee, which all meetings of will be public. She and her team will be working with us to ensure that we do have a process that legally meets our obligations for hiring the executive director. And it also, of course, will make certain that we have the input needed to make sure that the DD Act and all its processes and procedures are reflected as we move forward in the process. And Kay fully understands that need. And so I am confident in her and her team that they will continue to help us develop a process that will be fair and reflective of our entire community and mission as we move forward. That Atlanta does this sort of thing, nonprofits search. This is what they do. And so I'm very encouraged with several meetings I've had with Ms. Irby and her team. So I do think that they are a good fit for us. And financially speaking, the funds will come from the savings we have from our vacancies, essentially, because we have 2 vacancies on staff. And so we do have a cost savings because of that. And so the funding for this will come from those funds, essentially. And if we need more, we can look at other funds that I know travel has not been as large a expense as it normally is due to the COVID crisis. And so we do have the funding, I believe, on hand to be able to cover the cost. And they were the best bid as far as cost. And so our costs are significantly lower with Llano than they would be with our other choices. So, and that's reflected here in their work. And as Brenton just told us, we actually would qualify for a reduction in some of those costs. So we'll certainly seek that. We'll save money wherever we can. But of course, we want to get the work properly done and to do so in a way that reflects all our mission and values. As far as timeline, Brenton, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think, of course, it's not going to be able to be exactly as we had originally planned now because of this delay, but I think they still seem to think that we should be able to have 2 or 3 nominees for the council to vote on in the spring, either March or April. Am I right about that? From our last conversations.
Yeah, they're looking at possibly April at the latest, July. I mean, obviously you can, as chair, you can call special meetings if you'd like to vote on this.
Right.
Trying to shoot for that April timeframe since we would have a meeting, if not possibly July. It's all going to kind of be dependent on how quickly we can move through the process and how quickly we can get everybody in meetings and different interviews. Also, just to tie into some of what Karanda was mentioning, I mean, the public will have access to all these meetings outside of actual interviews with individuals. Those cannot be public for various reasons. But all the planning that's going to go in with Llano to look at the director's job description and all the timelines and processes and any of the stuff that they have to get your input on to develop for the interview process, those kind of meetings will still be held public, just not the actual interviews of the people that are done.
Absolutely. Yes. I'm glad you reiterated that point. And as far as a contract, with this vote, Brenton will begin the process of reaching out to Llano to let them know that they have been reselected today. And they will begin the process of continuing to negotiate in this case, a contract that's fair for them and their team and of course for us. And so there will be a contract that's written and agreed upon, and that process will begin today as soon as we agree that they are the firm we wish to contract with. Are there any other questions? Hearing no further questions, I have a motion on the floor, do I not?
Yes, sir, you do.
Okay. So do I have any abstentions to the motion? Which Mary made and Mike seconded. Do I have any abstentions to the motion? Do I have any objections to the motion, which is for the selection of Lano for our executive director search process? Do I have any objections? Hearing no objections, the motion is carried. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. So Brenton, we can begin today to reach out to Kay and her team and let them know they've been reselected today and see how soon they would be able to meet with us to have a meeting to begin to discuss next steps. Because I know what we had planned to do at this meeting originally was Kay was going to come in with her team and they were going to help us with the job description and get some other information they needed to begin the process for selection. So I'm assuming that as soon as we reach out and verify that, you know, they've been reselected, then we certainly will invite them to come in and have that meeting where we do the selection of the writing of the job description.
Right, so last I had spoken with Lano, that was kind of some of the things that they wanted to do with the committee. They were going to go through a timeline that they had developed and make sure that some of that timeline was appropriate for committee.
Yes.
They were going to look at the executive director job description. There was also a survey that was sent out to staff and council members specifically about kind of some of the needs, kind of what are the positives currently and some of the needs. I would assume they would give us some information from that, but I don't know if they're going to want to redo that survey now that leadership was changed, because, you know, some of the questions in that survey was specific to the leadership that was in place at that time, and now
Yes.
It's a little bit different. And so, you know, I'll just touch base with Lano, because at this point, Lano will kind of drive the discussions as
Yes.
what needs to get done. But I did want to tell you, Randall, we do have a couple of comments from Liz Gary. Are you planning to discuss any of the information in the proposal? I should state, discuss the plan of what they will do. I have some questions.
Actually, Liz, that's what we're talking about now is I would like to have Lano answer those questions for us since they've been selected. I want to schedule a meeting as quickly as we can with the team that's been selected to work with us, and they would be able to directly answer all questions related to our plans and agreements. And it will be a public meeting. Yes, I just saw that comment. Yes, all our meetings for this will be public with the exception of candidate interviews. But aside from the candidate interviews, when we get to that phase, everything will be public.
And I will say some of the proposals in all of the previous agendas and meeting summaries, we have the proposals that are attached in there if anyone wanted to go through the specifics of the proposals.
Yes, we do.
So they're all attached in all of our various meeting summaries or agendas, which is on our council meetings page.
Thank you for pointing that out, Brenton. Are there any other questions?
Yeah, there's another comment from Liz, said, who is the board or directors and search committee that they reference in the action plan? I mean, I can answer that if you'd like, Randall, or you can.
You could answer that, Brenton, if you'd like.
The board or directors, they mean the council. They just dealing with nonprofits, they just have a different lingo. So every time they talk about a board of directors, they mean the council. And the search committee, or the 9 search committee members that were voted on at the October 17th council meeting, which makes up our entire executive committee, and 2 representatives from self-determination and community inclusion, and 2 representatives from education and employment committees. But yeah, I did mention to Lano in the past that the board of directors thing could be kind of confusing, but that's what it was described to me. That's basically the council. They just refer to it as a board because that's their lingo. But yeah.
Thank you for the question and thank you for the clarification, Brenton. Are there any other questions? And so, Brenton, let's reach out to Kay and her team and see how quickly they'd be willing to schedule another meeting with us so we can begin to discuss the job description and how we want to put that, how they suggest, what their suggestions are for that. And we can give input to them for that, as well as the surveys. And if we need to redo those, get that started.
Will do. Yeah, I think their turnaround time is probably going to be dependent on how much they were able to get done before they had to stop.
Yes.
I know they did kind of work on a timeline before they had to stop, but I don't know that they actually were able to get a draft going for you guys to look at of all the other stuff. So
Okay.
I'll ask Kay kind of a time frame that she thinks that she would be able to have that prepared, and I'll get with you, Randall, about some future dates.
Yes. And if you need me with, when you reach out to Kay, if you'd like to have me on with you, just reach out to me and we'll set that up.
No problem.
Okay. Does anybody on the committee have any questions? All right. Thank you all. Are there any other questions before I entertain a motion to adjourn today's meeting? Hearing none, I thank you all for your participation today. And I will entertain a motion for adjournment.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Thank you, Mary. Do I have a second to Mary's motion to adjourn today's meeting?
I'll second.
Thank you, Mike. So Mary makes the motion to adjourn, Mike seconds. Do I have any objection? Hearing no objection, thank you all for your attendance. We'll see you again soon.